bring out their own innovation on how to produce better. And last one, better choice by consumer. The consumers will have so many choice of brands to choose from, to choose the best out of the choice available to them. And commercialization and privatization are also not without their own disadvantages. So disadvantages of commercialization and privatization are: one, poor standard of living. Why? Because privatization will bring out a high cost on goods and services. Therefore, high cost of living tends to lead to poor standard of living. In that case, poor standard of living is one disadvantage. The second one is high cost of goods and services is another disadvantage. Also, reduction in employment. The number of people employed by the public, by the government, will not be able to have their own place in private ownership, because private ownership will want to use a minimum level of workers as possible in order to reduce their cost of production and the cost of salaries. Also, uneven distribution of income. Because of the high cost of goods and services, not all the masses, not everybody in the society will be able to afford their goods and services provided. Therefore, it will make uneven distribution of income to be the matter of the day. And the last one, loss of consumer welfare scheme. There won't be anything like consumer welfare scheme again, because the public has delivered and handed over the business of the economy to the hands of the private individual. Agriculture. Agriculture is defined as the production of crops and rearing of animals for man use. It is the deliberate efforts made by man to till the soil, cultivate crops, and rear animals for use of man and other purposes. Agriculture is one of the most important sectors of the economy of many West African countries. Though it is practiced widely at the subsistence level, yet it employs about 60 to 75% of the population of many West African countries. Components of agriculture. We have different components of agriculture. One, we have crop production. Crop production is concerned with the cultivation of crops. And crop production also can be divided or grouped into food crops and cash crops. Food crops are cultivated mainly for consumption, e.g., rice, maize, groundnut, yam, and so on. Also, we have cash crops. Cash crops, on the other hand, are cultivated mainly for sales, e.g., cocoa, rubber, cotton, and so on. The second component, we have livestock farming. This involves the rearing of animals, either for consumption or for sales. Livestock includes cattle, sheep, goats, donkey, rabbits, and so on. Also, we have forestry. This is the art of planting, tending, and managing forests, including the utilization of their growing natural and planted for specific purposes. Some common trees usually found in the forest are: we have iroko, we have ubeche, we have mahogany, and so on. Forest is important for the provision of food, for medicine herbs, for employment, for timbers, and so on. And the last one is fish farming. Fish farming is the act of rearing selected species of fish under scientifically controlled conditions in enclosed bodies of water such as ponds, streams, rivers, ocean, and so on, where they feed, grow, breed, and are harvested for consumption or for sales. Fishing provides food, employment, income, and foreign exchange to many nations, especially when fish are exported to other countries. Systems of agriculture. We have series of systems of agriculture whereby agriculture is being practiced. One, we have peasant farming. Peasant farming can also be referred to as subsistence farming. This is the type of agriculture that is concerned with the production of food for the farmer and his family. It is mainly produced of food to produce food for the farmer and his nuclear family. It is a system of farming whereby the farmer cultivates crops and rears animals in order to produce food for himself and for his family. What are the features, the characteristics of peasant farming? One, it requires a small area of land. Two, family labor is usually employed. There's no need to employ people from outside, since it is just a small area of land being used for farming. The use of family, the children and the wives, are very, very common. Three, low harvest is usually involved because the land is not much and the production of the food is mainly for the family and himself. Therefore, the harvest may not be too much. Also, it also involves the use of crude implements like hoes, cutlass, and so on, because it's just a small area of land that is being cultivated. Also, it requires small capital to operate because the production is small as well. Therefore, there won't be need to get any bigger capital or any huge amount of money to operate such. There will be no need for such. And also, there is usually little or none left for sale. The major aim of peasant farming is for feeding of the family and the farmer himself. Therefore, there may be little left out of the harvest for sales or nothing. We have plantation farming. Plantation farming involves the cultivation of some economic crops in large quantity on large area of lands. Here, only one type of crops is grown in a large area of land. That is, it can be referred to as monoculture farming. A particular type of crops will be planted on a very large area of land, and that is what we refer to as plantation. And what are the characteristics of plantation farming? It requires a large area of lands for the cultivation. Two, it requires huge capital investment because of the large area of land involved and because of the large amount of harvest that is being expected. Then a huge amount of capital will be needed to invest on such production so that it will bring out the desired result. Also, only one crop is cultivated. A specific crops will be chosen where maybe is the one that is needed in the market or the area, the one that the farmer is used to and can actively and effectively cultivate. Such crops will be the only one that will be planted on that large area of land where the farming is taking place. Also, harvest is usually great. The harvest of such production of such farming is usually great. The quantity of the output is usually much. Also, it requires the use of machine. Because of the land area of land being cultivated, it will be so strenuous and so challenging for the farmer to use crude implements such as this peasant farming used. No, but the use of machines like tractors and some other mechanical instruments will be required to till the land and to do other form of farming activities on the land. Also, output is mainly for sales. The major aim of this plantation farming is to sell the output out to the market, to the population, to the market where it will be used, where it will be bought and used for their own personal purpose, whether as individual or as a corporate body. They can get such output from the market. Therefore, the main purpose of plantation farming is not for consumption by the farmer and his family alone, even though the farmer and the family can take out of it for their own personal consumption, but that is not the major aim of such farming. Also, it may be owned by an individual, by corporate bodies, or by the government. If an individual is rich enough and has interest in such plantation, an individual can go into it as long as he can take the responsibility of the cost and the production activities. Also, a corporate body, a group of people, or a group of a set of people can come together. Maybe an organization can come together and want to invest or embark on such farming. They can go ahead with that as long as they have interest in such and they are ready to bear the challenges along the way. Therefore, they are free to go for such. And government also, in some cases, can embark on plantation farming in order to make the food more available for people in the society. Mechanized farming. Mechanized farming can also be referred to as commercial farming. This is concerned with the production of food, animals, and cash crops in large quantities, mainly for sales. This mechanized farming is mainly for commercial purpose. Such farming is usually embarked on in order to get huge amount of output and sell to the market. What are the characteristics? The characteristics of mechanized farming. 1. It requires a large area of land as well. 2. It requires huge capital investment. 3. It also involves only cultivation of one crop. 4. The harvest is usually much as well. It also requires the use of machines, just like the plantation farming. The output is mainly for sale as well, and it may be owned by an individual, by a corporate body, or by government. Also, the storage and processing facility are required. These also are important in addition to the above mentioned characteristics, because the commercial farming is majorly for sales and the output is usually much at a particular time, especially in the period of harvest. The whole output may not be